Good morning, everyone. All right. As always, things are very busy here at the Sacramento Betsuin. Most of our choir, I think, is at Lodi this morning. They had a little event there, so all the choir folks are singing over there this morning. And Reverend Bob and Patty are down south officiating a wedding. So what a joyous, wonderful event, a wedding of one of our old, Dharma school students here. So congratulations to that new young couple as well. And I wanted to extend a very special thank you to all of you who were able to join us last night for our first annual fall mixer event. I'm calling it first annual. We'll see if we do it next year. But it was a really great event, and I was a little bit worried because I'm used to planning events like that for most of my YBA kids. So I was making the adults do the same things that I have my high school kids do. And you know what? Everybody jumped in with both feet, and they rolled up their sleeves, and they really dove in. So hopefully you guys can make the next one if you weren't able to attend. Last night's theme, as some of you have heard me announcing week after week, was about our ego. And to remind us about our egos, last night one of the games we did was we were not allowed to say the word I at all when we're speaking. And if you said the word I and another person caught you, they had this little, we gave them a little pack of stickers, and they would put a sticker on your name tag. You guys didn't respond. That didn't sound like a big deal to you, huh? Not a big deal. I'll tell you what, it was very, very difficult. See, I tell you what, sticker already. It was really, really difficult, and I regretted coming up with that idea within 5 minutes of doing it. You guys should play this after service today. Not now, but after service, and see how difficult it is, and you'll really realize. It got to the point where we had to start talking to each other like Elmo, Elmo from Sesame Street? Elmo doesn't say I, he always refers to himself in the first person, right? He's like, Elmo hungry, Elmo wants to go to the park. So you don't say I'm hungry or I want to go to the park. And then I started doing more like Jar Jar Binks, because he doesn't say I either, right? Jar Jar says Misa, right? So it was to the point where I wanted to say something. So instead of that, I'd be like, Misa want to say something. Misa hungry. Misa want more drink, And it was terrible. It was terrible because I wanted to encourage conversation with the groups, but what happened was everybody was like, it was so terrible. And we were all talking like that the whole night. Me wanna go. Me wanna. So we left with terrible grammar. It was terrible. So I ended up calling a table timeout. I said, okay, timeout. Let's continue with this. So, but the point of that exercise, and I think it actually ended up working out really well. The point of that exercise was to come to a realization of how focused we are on ourselves, even in the way we converse and the way we communicate. It really makes you reflect on how much your words and ideas center around you, self-centered. And that's not necessarily a bad thing or a good thing. It's just something that you need to be aware of, And it makes us realize how much our personal ego and sense of self truly drives us in our everyday life. When I was preparing for these workshops, coming up with what to do for a mixer event, it really made me reflect upon my own ego and how hard it is to just let go of your ego and to let things go. It's hard to let go of my views, my opinions, and my priorities. In our lives, we're constantly holding on to things, right? We're holding on to things and then we're letting them go. And this happens with things that aren't really that important in our lives, like, we have clothes, and then you buy new clothes, and you donate your old clothes. Or your little phones. How many of you buy smartphones for $800, yet you're buying a new one every single year, right? You're holding on, you're letting go. But there's also more important things in our life, some very dear things in our lives that we hold on to and let go, right? Like even something like your career. Some people are very passionate about their career, but circumstances happen where they have to let it go. They have to move on to something else. And of course, your family, your loved ones. And I know it's October, but we just started a new school year. I'm sure a lot of you parents had to let go of your college freshmen, leaving the nest too, right? So we're always holding on to things and letting go. And especially in this country, I'm going to focus on the holding on part a little bit. Americans, America, land of the plenty, the land of the indulgence, right? Americans are really good at holding on to stuff, right? We hold on to a lot of things. How many of you have a garage, an attached a garage? Who has a garage? Who can park all of their cars in their garage? Oh, not good. Very impressive. Okay, that was a lot less of you. Why can't you park your car in the garage? Because it's full of boxes, right? It's full of your stuff. We have so much stuff that we have attics full of stuff. We have basements full of stuff. And when those rooms get filled up, what do? You rent the mini storage under the freeway right there to put more stuff in there. We have so much stuff that you can't help but wonder how necessary this is. And this is why we don't have people come over to our house. We have too much stuff. There's no room for people. It's our nature. I have stuff like phone cord. Why do I keep phone cord? I have coaxial cable. We don't use coax. You don't even know what coaxial cable is. See, you guys are like, what's that? I keep stuff like that because I go, you never know when you're going to need it. And we hold on to stuff. And I even hold on to stuff that's emotionally based too. I have stuff from elementary school. I have like rulers with the little shapes in them. Do you remember the little plastic rulers with the triangle and the square? And it had like some stencils for letters that I never used ever. But I have them, and it got the little things on the bottom. Anyway, you know what I'm talking about. So I hold on to that. And I even have a business card signed by Hillbilly Jim from the WWF. Nobody knows who Hillbilly Jim is? Nobody? Okay. Nobody? Do you know? Okay, he was a wrestler. He was a wrestler in the WWF, and he ate sushi at one of my restaurants. I'm like, and he's a Hillbilly Jim. He wore overalls, big old hat. He ate sushi. I thought that was amazing. So anyway, I digress. The point is, we have a tendency to hold on to stuff, some stuff that is worthless by any measurable, measure. But then one day I discovered a book, and I'm sure many of you are familiar with this book because it's a bestseller and all that. The book is called The Life-Changing Magic of Cleaning Up, the Japanese Art of Decluttering and Organizing. Have any of you heard of this book? By Marie Kondo, right? You've heard? Yes. The people that have this book are like, yup. And the people that don't have stuff in their garage. So, this book, that's a pretty long title for something that's decluttering your life. That was a pretty cluttered title. But the book is about decluttering your home, which will in turn declutter your life. And it talks about how to get rid of this stuff in your life that you don't need anymore. And there's a lot of premises to it, but the one main theme, her main point of this is this. When you're looking at something, you have to ask yourself, does this item bring me joy? Does this item bring me joy? And if the answer is no, off it goes, okay? And that doesn't apply to the things that you use. You don't go, my toaster doesn't bring me joy, and you throw it away. You need the toaster, okay? So we're talking about all the miscellaneous items and clutter and clothes and books and papers and stuff that you have. So that's the question that she asked. Does it bring me joy? And she brings life to all of her objects. If this pencil no longer brings you joy, you take the pencil and you say, we had some good times, pencil. We drew some drawings and we wrote some letters. Thank you for your service. And you throw it away, okay? Or you donate it. So that's how she does it. And it was an amazing book to read, because it changes your mindset on how to approach it. It doesn't teach you how to organize things or how to shift things better. It teaches you how to look at your stuff and how to let go. And I felt that this book was incredibly Buddhistic because it talks about our attachments to things. And it is a ego-based, selfish attachment, right? So you hold on so tight to things and you gotta let it go. Do you remember the story I shared with you many years ago? Of course you remember all my stories, right? I told you a story about a college professor that came before his college class, and he held up a little glass full of water. And he said, how heavy do you think this water is? And somebody said, whatever it was, a couple grams, not that heavy. Do you think I can hold this water cup out here for 5 seconds? Of course you can. I could hold it for 5 seconds, right? What about 5 minutes? Well, 5 minutes is kind of a long time. What about 5 hours? Well, I don't know about that, huh? Well, what about 5 days? No way, right? No way. But the cup is tiny. It's really small. It's not significantly heavy by any measure. However, when it comes on to holding on to something, the longer you hold on to it, the greater the burden it will create on your life. And even something seemingly small can carry a tremendous, tremendous weight on your life. And the longer you hold on to that, the deeper it's going to scar you and the deeper it's going to dig into you, you know? And so that's what this whole message is about today. Once you can put that thing down and let it go, you can free your life. And so what I'm talking about is not about your stuff. When I'm saying let it go, let it go. Can't hold it back anymore, okay? When I say let it go, I'm not talking about your stuff. What I wanted to talk to you about was your emotional baggage also. It's October, November's right around the corner, the holiday seasons are there. See, I just said holiday season, you guys got stressed out. We stress out about the holidays because our family comes together. And when our family comes together, it brings up a lot of baggage and a lot of emotional baggage and a lot of emotional feelings. We have some anger maybe, we have some regret, we have some resentment. So when I'm talking about letting go and letting go of your clutter, I'm talking about trying to let go of that emotional baggage that we have, not just towards family, but even friends, or even that coworker that you just can't stand. The more we hold on to that coworker, now I'm thinking about the coworker, but the more we hold on to that coworker and you go to bed at night, who's tossing and turning in bed at night all angry? You are. Your coworker's not, because they don't care. So this is what we mean by letting go. So just remember, in your life, there is always a time that we have to hold on tight, but there is also a time that we have to let go. And if we are honest with ourselves and we are truly opening our eyes to see the truth, we will know when it is time to hold on and when it is time to let go. And although it may not be easy, when we face the challenge and make that decision, it will improve the quality of our life so drastically, we'll sit and wonder why we didn't do it sooner. Please join me in Gassho. Let us all try to be more aware of ourselves and our self-centered ways. Let us begin by learning to let go of the things that are unimportant in our lives. And the greatest burden we can let go of is our regret and anger towards somebody else. Release your ego, and you can release your burdens. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu.